In December, we heard that the fan service filled Brown Dust 2 would not be making its Steam launch because just a few days before release, Steam banned it, and the developers were refusing to make changes. They were going to stand their ground, which seemed amazing. They said that accommodating Steam wouldn't preserve the game's core direction, but now it seems that that is not the case, as they are going to be altering and censoring content in this title, and it seems to be so they can try to get a Steam launch. I have a few different things to show off, but before I get into the topic, if you enjoy the content I create, check out the links in the description, join the community in my live streams, and consider supporting through Patreon or YouTube memberships. Now, I love to try to stand up for studios that don't want to bend the knee to censorship demands. They want to stand by their title and they want to defend their creative freedom, but that doesn't seem to be the case with Brown Dust 2 anymore, because back in December they had said that accommodating Steam wouldn't preserve the game's core direction, and that's why they weren't really focused on the Steam launch anymore. They didn't want to jump through hoops to get it released, but now they are announcing a big wave of censorship and alteration, and they haven't confirmed it's to get a Steam release, but one would deduce that that is the case, as where you play the game right now is on their own launcher. It is through their own channels, and it is unfortunate to see another fan service heavy game being altered for a group of people that are not going to play their experience, a group of people who will not support them anyway, or to appease the censorship overlords in this industry. So there are quite a few different posts going around about this, but it stems from this Brown Dust 2 official 40th developer notes January update, where they do talk about, yes, making changes. Despite previous claims, the developers will finally censor many outfits and cutscenes likely to comply with Steam rules. The announced changes are White Pure Blessing Rafithia skill cutscene, Therese medical outfit and cutscenes, including a Fated Guest, Nature's Claw Row and White Cat Row skill cutscenes, new Higher Seer and Demon's Daughter Seer cutscenes, mention of the Slap Slap Pop minigame. So it seems that they are bending the knee, and if you are a fan of Brown Dust 2, you are now going to have to deal with them altering content in the game, and this is not the Steam-only version. This is just the global version of the experience, because right now there isn't a Steam version. That means that the content that they're altering is just the content that you are experiencing right now if you are a player of this game, and it sucks to see so bad, because I'm personally not a Brown Dust 2 player, but I think that the game actually does have a pretty good aesthetic, and I'm fine with fan service in games. I definitely play fan service heavy titles a lot, but seeing them not hold their ground after they were so passionate just a few weeks ago really breaks my heart for the people who maybe started playing it then through their launcher because they wanted to support them, or for the people who have played this game for a very long time. And here's another post about it. Here is the censorship we're finding out about. Devs now sure care a lot about pixels, sensibility, and age. It's important to not be abusive. So it says our decision regarding character design and cutscene adjustments. However, how we respond was ultimately our decision, and we take full responsibility for the outcome. And it is true that they received external warnings requesting changes to certain in-game content. This also could be about payment processors. It could be about PayPal. It could be about Visa and MasterCard. Either way, though, it says Medical Club. It says that it could be interpreted as abusive. The white cats were age-inappropriate styling with things like stockings, the demon's daughter, abusive situation framing, and the slap slap pop minigame depictions that could be interpreted as abusive. But they also now apparently care about age verification, because they introduced a self-age verification feature to provide a safer service environment for all users. All newly newly introduced age verification process will operate by self-entry, which does not collect personal information from users or perform secondary verification through external agencies. So they are facing a lot of backlash right now over this, and rightfully so. Oh no, don't bend the knee. Plus, they have their own launcher. Will the censorship be only on the Steam version or the entire game? And unfortunately, it is the entire game because there isn't a Steam version as of this point in time. Double standards. Steam has porn games. Devs are still forced to censor their anime gotchas. Yeah, they do have porn games. They do offer content that is much more risque, that is much more adult, but they don't care because they do not have consistent guidelines, and this is such a big problem on Steam, where one day employee A might accept a game, but the next day employee B might reject the same game that could have been accepted from employee A. I mean, if a game is good, it doesn't need nudity to attract players, right? And that is a big part of this game. That is a element that makes the game good. So much for we won't censor. Steam sneezes and devs fold creative vision traded for platform approval. There are literal porn games on Steam. Why are they getting forced to censor so much? And there have been a lot of attacks on anime themed games for a very long time now because the characters could be interpreted by somebody as being underage. Even if a creator says, yeah, my character's 25, Steam and all of these platforms really could go, well, we think that this character looks like she could potentially be under 18, and so you need to change their outfits, their dialogues, their character arts, and censor your experience. And most of the time, these studios, well, I get that if your game releases on a platform like Steam, you're reaching so many more people, but you're also pushing away the fans who wanted to support your uncensored vision. I would rather play on their launcher on PC. Game is good because developers made perfect art and animation. Censoring it would kill the passion. There's tons of hentai porn games on Steam. Why is this one a problem? Why is any of this against any Steam rule? It's not even porn. Censorship is censorship. It's all so tiresome. And Steam is being forced to impose those rules by payment processors, put the blame where it belongs. And this is partially the truth, but the issue is that, as I've been talking about on this channel for years at this point, if you go back 4, 5, 6 years before all of this payment processor bullshit started, Steam was censoring anime games. Steam was forcing developers to censor it. And now I do think that there is a problem where Steam is saying, oh yeah, well, you need to comply with our rules because of payment processors, even if it's just because they want these games to be altered. And this is why you need to put the blame on both of them equally. Because yes, Steam is being pushed around, but Steam also has done the pushing around for years. There are thousands of literal porn games on Steam, but the suggestive gotcha is where Steam draws the line. Yes, unfortunately. And my wallet's closed, support censorship, lose my business, simple as so. I will be following this pretty closely. I'm curious to see if the developers release another statement. I'm sure Steam will not, and a lot of players of this title are very upset right now, and it sucks to see this happening. But that's all that I really had to discuss in this video. Let everyone know your thoughts in the comments below. If you found this important and informative, make sure to give it a like, share it, and subscribe to the channel. And if you didn't, give it a dislike. I appreciate your support either way, but I'll talk to you all again in the next video really soon.